What if prices went down every year instead of up? What if your paycheck bought you more every year without having to work more hours? That's not a fantasy. It's how a healthy economy should actually work. And it's called deflation. Ooh, a scary word for the government and modern day economists. We've been taught to fear this word, like it's some economic boogeyman that will destroy jobs and create mass panic. But Austrian Economics, like most of the time, says something completely different. In a free market, prices naturally fall over time as productivity and efficiency improve. And that's not a problem. It's a blessing. Welcome back to Bear Economics. Please give me a like or a follow, and let's get right into it. Mainstream economics treat deflation like a disease that has to be cured at all costs. So what do? They inflate the money supply to keep prices stable. But here's the truth. The price stability actually means your purchasing power is being chipped away over every single year. Henry Hazlitt nailed it when he said, quote, "The whole tendency of capitalism is toward the improvement of production methods, toward lowering costs of production and increasing output, which means a tendency toward lower prices." End quote. See, when prices fall because of innovation and productivity are rising, it's the market's way of saying, congratulations, you get more of your own money now. And who doesn't want that? Let's take electronics, for example. Your phone today is exponentially more powerful than it was 10 years ago. And yet, it likely costs you less in real terms. TVs, laptops, consoles, same story. Prices drop as technology advances. Quality skyrockets. Consumers win. Murray Rothbard put it plainly, quote, "Progress in production and living standards means falling prices. And this is precisely what happens in the natural course of a free market." End quote. And think about it. Has anyone stopped buying phones just because they might be cheaper next year? No. They buy because value is going up while prices are going down. Example 1. America's golden era, 1865 to 1910. After the Civil War, the U.S. experienced nearly 50% deflation over 35 years. And yet, that was one of the most prosperous periods in our country. Railroads transformed the nation, steel production exploded, real wages rose, and the average American's quality of life improved every year. Mises summed it up by saying, quote, "The progress of capitalism has been accompanied by a continuous tendency toward a fall in the prices of consumers' goods." End quote. Example 2, the British gold standard era. From the 1820s to the early 1900s, Britain had stable but falling prices and massive industrial growth. Gold kept money honest, innovation drove prices down, and living standards soared. Example 3, 1920 through 1921, U.S. Depression. This was a sharp downturn with an 18% drop in prices in a single year. But instead of massive bailouts, the government stepped back, and the economy recovered within 18 months, proving falling prices aren't fatal when the market is just left alone. First, your money gains value. With good deflation, your savings don't rot away. They grow in purchasing power. That means you don't have to gamble with risky investments just to keep up with inflation. 2, encourages real savings and real investment. When money holds value, people save. Those savings get invested into productive businesses, not into speculative bubbles fueled by cheap credit. 3, rewards productivity, not debt. Inflation rewards borrowers and punishes savers. Deflation flips that. Innovators and efficient businesses win, and reckless debt junkies lose. 5, why governments fear deflation. So if deflation is so good, why do politicians and central bankers panic over it? Well, that's because when money gains value, their debt becomes harder to pay back. Sounds like a government problem, not an us problem. And with trillions of government IOUs floating around the world, they'd rather quietly rob you through inflation than face reality. Hayek warned us, quote, "There is no justification for any attempt to maintain a money value which has ceased to be the result of a free market," end quote. When they fight deflation, they're not protecting you. They're protecting themselves. Now, quick distinction. Good deflation comes from productivity and innovation, like cheaper electronics. Bad deflation happens during a credit crunch, when the money supply collapses, like parts of the Great Depression. The key? Bad deflation usually comes after the government and central banks screw up, which is quite often. Good deflation comes naturally in a free market. Deflation, when it's a result of progress, isn't the enemy, it's the reward. Imagine your groceries, rent, cars, and energy bills steadily going down year after year. You'd save more, you'd work less, and you'd live a little better. Henry Hazlitt said it best, quote, "The whole history of modern civilization is a history of falling prices and rising living standards," end quote. Not the opposite way around. The truth is, the fear of deflation isn't about protecting the economy. It's about protecting the system that keeps governments rich and you running in place. So maybe it's time to stop fearing deflation and start demanding it. Thanks for watching Bear Economics. If you got some value from this, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.